The nation known as Israel is located in the Middle East. They are the natural descendants of the man Abraham through his son Isaac. The Bible records their history, their life experiences, and interactions with Jehovah their God over several centuries. They were once a very small community of 80 people who relocated to Egypt in order to survive a global famine at that point in history. While they were in Egypt, their population grew, they prospered, and increased into a community of hundreds of thousands of people. With the passage of time, the leaders of their host country decided to subject them to slavery and harsh conditions of living. Jehovah heard the cries of the suffering of his people and remembered his covenant obligation to them based on his covenant with their ancestor Abraham. So Jehovah appeared to a fugitive living in the land of Midian called Moses. Moses was an Israelite born during a time of infant genocide in Egypt, but who was miraculously preserved from death. This Moses was a fugitive from justice who escaped trial after murdering an Egyptian and fled into exile in the country called Midian. Married and serving as an employee of his father-in-law, Jehovah came to him while he was going about the normal duties on his job. And Jehovah gave Moses the most outrageous and absurd instructions. I am sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people Israel out of Egypt. It is important to note that Egypt was arguably the biggest economic and military superpower in the world at that period in history. No wonder Moses replied, "Are you kidding me? Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt?" Egypt? How? With what resources? Mission impossible. I don't have what it takes, Jehovah. I cannot. But after arguing back and forth with Jehovah, he finally agreed to go to Egypt, depending solely on the power of Jehovah. After a serious series of mind-boggling demonstrations of the powers of Jehovah, the king of Egypt finally succumbed to the demand of Jehovah. Israel was freed from slavery. They traveled on foot and arrived at the mountain called Sinai and had a live and memorable encounter with Jehovah. At Sinai, Jehovah gave an addendum of laws to the people and they agreed. The addendum was sealed with a blood sacrifice. The addendum was laws, rights, and regulations that covered every aspect of life. It was an order of life prescribed for them as individuals, as families, as communities, and as a nation. Every descendant of Israel was born into and inherited this order of life given by Jehovah. For the purpose of illustration, let us imagine a fictional young couple who lived at that time in history and were present at Mount Sinai when Jehovah thundered from the top of the mountain. They were present when Moses read out the terms of the addendum from Jehovah and sealed it with blood. Soon after that experience, let us imagine our fictional couple decide to start a family and have children of their own. Their first child is a boy, and they circumcise him after 8 days of his birth. The circumcision is a laid down requirement and rite of initiation of their son into the covenant with Jehovah. They would dedicate their son by performing the rites prescribed by the law. The dedication will be performed at the tabernacle of Jehovah, built by Moses the prophet, the tabernacle where Jehovah lived, in the country that Jehovah gave them, full of abundant economic resources and opportunities for the benefit of all the citizens of the nation Israel, the children of Abraham. The couple go to their place of work. They do their work diligently and faithfully. They observe the Sabbath day of rest as required by the law of Jehovah. They regularly give the stipulated portion of their income and harvest as required by the law. They observe all the religious rites, holidays, and traditions. They teach their child the laws and the covenant of Jehovah. Their child would in turn teach his own children as part of the traditions, the way of life, and lifestyle of a community in an everlasting covenant with Jehovah, a way of life and culture because of the second governing theme of the Bible, that Jehovah gave his eternal covenant and promise to the man called Abraham.